December 28th, 9:51 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. I need water. Hold on. This is it. Judgment Day. Today, things are going to get settled at last. A lot of things. What's the big deal? Sorry, Nick. I only touched your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. Anyhow, today's the last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum as always. I hope Ron Karma doesn't push him too hard. Whoa! What are you doing? Sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back. Maya. Maybe you should go outside and discharge? You could take that out of context and it would be a whole lot different than what he's trying to actually say. Right. Good idea. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. Whoa, yeah, pal. What's gotten into that girl? Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Mr. Edgeworth. Good morning. How did it go, Detective? That's me, Phoenix. How'd it go, Detective? Have no fear, as promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Took all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock, I got on the way in. I feel pretty good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name. That has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? He does remember. I'm going to prove it. December 28th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Alright, here we go. Court now is session for the trial of Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I did not click that. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Right, very well. We have reached the final day of our proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submit decisive evidence. Understood. Come on, don't be awed into silence every little thing he says. It's not magic. Very well, Mr. Von Kammel, your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. Very well. Please bring the witness into the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop on the lake from where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. Witness, why did you run away yesterday? The witness was not running away, as he will now testify. I see. Very well, please begin your testimony. Why I left court? I'm really sorry about leaving the other day like I did. I wasn't running away or nothing. Went to buy some food for Polly, see? Figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I need one of those, motive thing, I don't get one of them. I'm gonna take money yesterday, stand it. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, shall we? He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi, and I'm going to prove it. Okay. I think I'm just gonna press a bunch. See what happens. Call what you did running away, and not just leaving. You heard Larry's testimony and realized you were in danger. Now, Mr. Wright, there's no need to rush to conclusions. As I said, the witness was not running away. Listen to the testimony. He seems relaxed. In fact, they both do. Von Karma and Yanni Yogi. What do I have evidence-wise? No. We already know he's the one that shot it, but this is all DL6 shit. All I have is that. The hole. Yeah, you can't see it, but my mouse is over this bullet hole in the window here. There's a shot in his heart. Looks like one in his side, so there's two shots that happen there. Okay. Then there's a bullet. So that's like all I got. It's like all I got, man. Okay, I got nothing else there. Okay, alright, that's fine. I'm gonna leave Master J. And then why did you leave? He's just about to say why. Is it so hard for you to just quietly listen when someone is talking? I sat quietly. Edgeworth would be guilty in 3 minutes. I went to buy some food, probably. Food? I'm probably a bit of a gourmand, you see. He only eats these high-quality bourbon pellets from France. I only have them in the big pet shop downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker shack? I kind of got lost in the machine. The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack. Yeah, right. Nice try, Von Karma. No one's gonna believe that. I see. He was lost. Please, Your Honor, come to your senses. I figured I got nothing to do with it anyway. You've lost much of your memory, is that correct? Yep. Seems that way. Well, how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with this incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory. You know exactly who you are. The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is. If you claim he's lying, then show the court proof. How am I supposed to prove what's going on in that old codger's head? It's impossible. I'm glad you've come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well, witness. Please continue. How can you say you had no motive? I say you do. You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took revenge on them, right? Please don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. This witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. Can't hold a grudge. It's impossible. Prove he's lying about his memory, otherwise it's going to be the same thing over and over until the trial ends. Why did I say something, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. You've been saying the same thing now over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory of the past, or lack thereof, into question. But does this really have anything to do with the current case? Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case, and no motive. Both of these statements are lies. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, this is a serious problem you claim. Or there's a serious problem with your claim. Or are you saying you know who this witness is? Of course, Your Honor. Oh, now this is interesting. I would like to know myself. So who is he? Don't play dumb, Von Karma. Mr. Rat, please tell us this witness's name. His name is Yanni Yogi, former court bailiff. Yogi? That name sounds familiar. Oh! Yanni Yogi from the DL6 incident. Figures the judge would have heard of it. Such a famous case. Well, what does this mean? Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive. Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This witness, is Yanni Yogi? Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? This is a court of law, as you may recall. You need proof. And allow me to repeat once more that the witness has lost his memory. This is it. I have to do this now. I can't prove he's Yogi right now. And I've got nowhere else to go. Nick, how are you going to prove it? How can you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? It's okay, it's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please take this man's fingerprints. Then we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago. See, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Huh? I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. Why? The witness has no fingerprints. What? What? No fingerprints? See, before I worked at caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. Burned my finger and working with the stuff, yep. What? Yogi, you sneak. You burned your fingertips off to hide your past. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we will not be able to prove his identity. Oh. Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? It seems that the case has been decided, no? No. I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. No. I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There is no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one. Nick, what are we gonna do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do? Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine his parent for a little comic relief, hmm? Yeah, very funny. You're a sore winner, Von Karma. That's actually a really good idea. Wait a second. Cross-examine his parrot? What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to. Your Honor, the defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Take Mr. Von Karma? Oh, on my proposal? Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's parrot. Order. Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object. Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. Huh. Well, if you're so desperate, then please be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Well, still want to go through with your little game? Yeah, I'm doing it. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least I think so. Bailiff, bring in the parrot. That's, quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Name! The witness is ignoring me. It must hurt to be ignored by a bird. Very well. Witness, who is your owner? Please, testify for us. Hello, hello. Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well, begin your cross-examination. Right. What are you gonna do, Nick? I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Witness, you can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere. I want you to testify. Maya, you talk to her. Right. What do I say? As I recall, 2 days ago... Polly, have we forgotten something? Don't forget DL6! If I can get Polly to say that here, that would prove that the caretaker had something to do with DL6. Polly, have we forgotten something? Hello, Squawk. That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot. Something we forgot. Hello, Squawk. Uh-oh. Not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Something the matter, Mr. Wright? Wait. Don't tell me Von Karma expected it. He couldn't have retrained the parrot. Could he? Did he train her to not respond when we asked if we'd forgotten anything? Witness, you're here to speak. You must speak to me. Frankly, I can't believe that you're speaking to the parrot. Well, I guess we should try to get some information out of her. We need to show the judge that her owner is Mr. Yogi. Alright, what kind of evidence can we show her? No. The evidence clearly reveals contradiction and blah blah blah, yeah. No, I didn't mean to take a... Didn't want to take the screenshot. Here's what I need to do. A quick save. Not that one. This one here. And just start presenting stuff, see what happens. Of course, there's no contradiction because the bird's just saying hello. You can't just say hello and expect to get away with it. Right. What do I say? Polly, what's your name? Polly, Squawk. Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot is named Polly. Does this have anything to do with her owner's identity? Not. Well, I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with it, no. Please only ask questions pertaining to the matter at hand. Very well, witness, continue with testimony. Okay, what's the other option? What a reckless parrot. Well, Mr. Rat, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it. Ha! Ridiculous! How can the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity? 1228.
Take that!
The DL6 case file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright, where in this file is something related to that safe number? Case summary. It's on the case summary page. Case summary, specifically the date on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident, December 28th. That's today's date, 15 years ago. And the number on the safe is 1228. Ah. He used the date of the DL6 incident as a number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Ah! It's not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm number 1. What a prick. Nothing to do with the date. Nothing. Indeed. Alone, it is a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence. Where am I going to find that? Nick, we're getting close. One more. If we can just get one more piece of evidence. Right, but what? Very well, witness, you may continue. Fuck, I'm kind of at a loss. Witness, you're here to speak. You must speak to me. How do I prove this thing is Yogi's bird? Oh, okay. It does actually have something to do with her owner's identity. Ha! Fascinating. Claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity? And show us this proof. Nick, don't you think you're taking that bluffing a little too far? Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the character's identity, or caretaker's identity is... I guess it's in here too. Victim data, suspect data. After his arrest, fiance Polly Jenkins committed suicide. DL6 case file. It's quite a large file you have there. Which page is this proof on then? Show us or stop wasting our time. Very well, Mr. Wright, please show us the page. Where is it in this file is the information connected to the parrot's name? It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide. See? Indeed. It does say that, yes. What was his fiance's name? Holly Jenkins. Holly. Exactly, Your Honor. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Ah, mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. Oh, Mr. Phoenix, right? Does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? She's only 7 years old. That's enough. I think we've reached a conclusion here. It's a mere coincidence, that's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker at the boat shop. Immediately. Witness, tell us your name. Wait, this witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. Nick, he looks totally different. This is the real Yogi, I think, finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting for 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order. Yanni Yogi. So was it you who killed Robert Hammond and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond. He said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent. Get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent. Really. He didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. Lost my job, my fiancé, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my only chance after 15 years. This was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge? Against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant Miles Edgeworth is innocent, in this case at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? Don't do it, Edgeworth. Don't do what I think you're gonna do. There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I'd like to pass judgment on the murder of Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. Objection. Oh, no.
Objection!
There we go. God damn it, Miles. Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No... Edgeworth... Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick, Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad. Uh-oh. What do I do? The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outbursts. God damn it. Yeah, didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. You must hear this new statement. Must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a night. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer, the criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me. Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Order. Just everybody calm down. This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitation runs out for today. Not really sure how I should deal with this. It's obvious. We hold a trial, right here, right now. We try this man for his crime of 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. Oh boy. December 28, 2:24 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number deuce. I'm sorry, right? I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you kill your dad? I didn't want to believe it to myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy. Just crazy. Nick, what are you doing? Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it, in court. I'm sorry, Edward. I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. Not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is about to begin. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. December 28th, 2:30 p.m. District Court. Courtroom. Number 3. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. See, does the defense any objections? No? No, Your Honor. Aunt Karma, you knew this was gonna happen from the very beginning, didn't you? The whole point of this is what he wanted. Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Hello. Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday. I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key. But only if I can get it to work. Please, please. I do want to check one thing before we continue with this. Vince Turney trapped in elevator returning from a lost trial with son Miles Edgeworth, age 9. One bullet found in heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. That's important to know, I'm assuming. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. We went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi, wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Ah, same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Rat, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Let's get some more information. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Kama was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Kama? You were handling that case? It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. That was when Edgeworth pointed out that problem in Von Karma's evidence. He remembers the details. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in an elevator. So, there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in the elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first. As time passed and no one came to help. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. Then, something heavy fell at my feet. Oh. What was it? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's. Safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next? Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. Gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, I've echoed in my head every day. The gunshot and that horrible, horrible scream. Scream. To this day, yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. Here it is. One part of that testimonial clearly contradicts the evidence. I don't know what it means. Better find out quick. Okay, I do know what it means. That day, so... We're gonna present...
Objection!
Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. See. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time.
Look at this
File. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence, unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shot? Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when the second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with this case? Fuck, no? Sure, I do, yeah. Your Honor, I think I will be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Rat, show us your proof. There it is. You have... Oh, good, I get to use it appropriately.
Take that! Look at this photograph!
This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired? Where? Your Honor, please just get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. See, bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he had fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer. Of course. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. On page 1. What is written there? Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. There's undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Order. I will have order. Then, okay, present me the proof then, Mr. Von Karma, seeing as this is a court of law. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, Mr. Von Karma says the second bullet fired was not found. It's highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick. If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. Oh. You said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. Sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it, though. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. No. I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention. Yes, did. No, he's accepted the guilt. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today. Right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? Been here before. Just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. Can't find the words. Mr. Riot? If I have an objection, I have to have evidence to prove things. Your Honor, I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object, Oof. Nick. I don't know. This case is perfect. No. Ah. It must exist. The second bullet. What did you just say? Nothing. Second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. Seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. Second bullet. It existed. What? Well, we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just... someone took it from the scene of the crime. What happened? But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. The criminal took the second bullet, but why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a straight bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for the bullet? Of course, there was a need. That's why they took it. Wow, what possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is... what would be proof? Maybe they thought that the bullet would be used as proof. Proof? It was a special bullet, so they took it with them. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh? Why would they only take one of the 2 shots fired? Oh, right. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? I'm going to have to penalize you. I have not thought this through, Your Honor. Is there some pressing need? The murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. No one to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Murder, what does it? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor, I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance. For instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer. The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you'd have to take it with you, wouldn't you? Not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer himself was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yeah. I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unarmed. That would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then, the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, but I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There's no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. Right. Can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something. Really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Oh. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that. See? Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock? He took it because he was injured, which would mean it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. Was on Karma? Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murder came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Hell yeah. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. The what? Von Karma. Von Karma? You mean the Von Karma, the prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Ah. You don't object? I see no need. My Honor, this ridiculous outburst with my objection. Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident, yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated him. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edward? I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what now, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? It's insane. Oh, he couldn't. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait. What do I mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but... where? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Alright, Von Karma. Prove it. I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is... kapow! Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then, I asked, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there's only one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Mr. Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Order. Order, order. Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for the suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. Statute of limitation runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end this right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. This is why I needed the other bullet. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I. Mr. Wright, well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Mr. Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course you can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I do have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Bickety bam, motherfucker. That's a bullet. Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Sir Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. Quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then, we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? What you got, bitch? I mean, okay, I'm not gonna. Scream. I've heard that scream before. I know. It's the scream from the elevator. Stop breathing my ear. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Only you would defy me! So it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record, and you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you with my bare hands! He is gone. The wall 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry. You will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! A shock like none I had ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. Must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain. A horrible, burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later he spoke through a medium blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It's a perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge. What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Ow, end it. Very well. appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. That is all. Court is adjourned. December 28th, 5:38 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Nick, we did it! You see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed! Gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it. I know. I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. Now, it's all just a good memory. So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Bye. Thank you. See. Thank you. Right. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry. I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edward. He's got you there. Ooh, oh yeah. Oh, amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. Tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. See. Ooh. I feel foolish. Don't worry. Get a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all. Lotta. Y'all were great in there. Thanks. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats. Thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, the bygones be bygones. Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. Well, why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick. I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Keontae. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yeah, Edgy. There you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Hairy butts. Every time. You come along tonight too, my treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh? What a weird amount. I mean, not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick! Wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38. No. No! Larry, it was you?! What are you so surprised about, right? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? That doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money laying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but I have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know, I know. Really, right? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this is sure an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth. You should have told me! Oh, now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. You think that statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. Ah, there you have it. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. You have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. Death. The death sentence for both of you. Right now. You're dead. Man, if I only had known, I'd have become a prosecutor. And the same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought that I might have killed my own father. But I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I'd have become a defense attorney for all. Edgeworth. Want to switch right? Hey y'all. Line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time. Alright, let's go. And after that, dinner on me. Dr. Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in that detention. December 29th, 5:02 a.m., Wright & Co. Law Offices. Whoa, I went a little overboard yesterday. Oh. My head hurts. Huh? It's still only 5? I should go back to sleep. This, a letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. And you made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you. But I couldn't. I was useless. I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Bye, Nick. Excuse me. Goodbye. What time is it? Ah! The first trains for the mountains have already left the station. To the station! Guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick! Maya. So, leaving? Yeah. Part of being a spirit medium, we can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Damn right. Give her a smooch. Wait. What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yeah. Only her voice, but still. It was the very end, and I thought we'd lost everything. That's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped. Mr. Grossberg and I, and even Larry. The only one who couldn't help. It was useless, Nick. You were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Show Maya some evidence to cheer her up. Oh, fuck. I don't know what to show her. Polly? She was the only one that can talk to her. Yeah.
Take that!
Huh. Sorry, Nick. I guess I don't understand. Uh-oh. Now I think about it, I don't understand this evidence either. It's okay. You don't have to try and cheer me up. But one day I'll come back and be useful. I promise. You were useful. So, this is it. See you soon, Maya. I was trying to cheer her up, and I failed. Thanks, Nick. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. Say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. The same old crazy cast of character. I don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Rat, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yeah, Your Honor. Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this.
Objection!
Alright, I think there's one more case in Game 1. I'm not going to start it tonight, but... Hey, pal. Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a Happy New Year. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Ooh, Detective Gumshoe. Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kinda like he was embarrassed at something. Great, huh? Huh. Nick? Nah, I haven't seen him lately. Who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you'd call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now. Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. You know, not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. Maybe. Probably. I mean, I'm sure I'll see him again. This is a jam, by the way. Phoenix Wright. Yeah, yes. Yeah, the defense attorney for whom I wrote that affidavit for. Yes. Oh, you should know. I've taken over management at the Gatewater Hotel. Should you be in the area, please, stop by. Put pleasant day to you. Masakatsu Ando. That's a fun name, Masakatsu. Oh, it's you. Phoenix, right? Ah, yes. Me as understudy. Was he not? I wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him of late. Ah, the days of my youth. Scent of fresh lemon, you see. Phoenix Wright. Is he an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like Phoenix. Yes, you can. Like, but as a last name, not a first name. Just look at Joaquin and River. I'm pleased to announce the Pig Princess is a hit. I sure owe that Mr. Wright a great deal. Oh, and I'm keeping my face out of the public till the show's over. We want to ruin any kid's dreams, you know. Yeah. Thanks, WP. Oh, I got a letter from Maya the other day. Sounds like she had caught a cold standing under a waterfall. Wanted to visit, but didn't have any time, so I sent her some Pink Princess trading cards. She said she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living at anyway? Now what? Right? Who's that? You wanna talk? Let's talk Pink Princess, alright? You know, I snuck into the studio the other day. I saw her. The one inside the Pink Princess suit. Ugh, what a dog. Kind of a shock for a boy of my tender age. It's not polite. Kinda wish I could turn this music up because it's real good. Yeah, I remember, right? That lawyer guy? Me? I'm in training to become a paranormal photographer. You know that picture I took of everyone? Well, it's behind them there's a ghost. For real. Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous. No way. I'm gonna ruin this ending. Just so you know, a little forewarning for you.